Welcome back to my Grammar in Use series. It has been a while since my last update because I've been asking a lot of friends about this series, and I really want to improve this. I really want to make this more interesting. I know grammar is really boring, but and I get a lot of feedback. For example, someone actually said to me, "Oh, your PPT is actually a bit gloomy." So as you can see, this is super colorful, so I hope you would like it. And also some people actually saying that, oh, it's a bit too long, can you do it within 5 minutes? So yes, I will try to do this as concise as possible, and hopefully you will enjoy this as well. So let's do this. Today I'm going to talk about one phrase only, which is had better. But a lot of time when we use this, we don't actually say had better. We just simply say I better. And you will realize that this D, we don't actually pronounce it. We will simply just say I better. You simply like half a second of a pause, and then you just say I better do something, for example. But if you really want to pronounce it, it will sound like this: I'd. So again, so in a really quick way, a normal speed to use this phrase, we simply just say I better do it, I better go. Okay, so let's look into the definitions of this, of had better. We use it only in present and future situations. We never use it in past tense. And the function of this, of course, is to give advice. It's a very strong expression, especially trying to imply that if you don't follow my advice, or if you don't do this, something negative will happen. So for me, I would try to explain this is like you're giving a warning to somebody, so you better do it. If you don't do it, then something bad will, I don't know, your mom is going to shout at you, or you would be late, for example. One thing bear in mind that is many people get mixed up with had better with other suggestions word, for example, like recommend, suggest. This had better is always used in a specific situations, which mean we don't actually use it in general situations. I'm going to come back to this in a minute. Let me give you some example. For example, we can say that it's 5 o'clock. I better go now. So you are saying that if I don't go now, it's going to be late. So this is actually the bad thing here is actually it's going to be late. Another example could be I better not leave my bag here. So I'm trying to imply that if I leave my bag here, someone may steal it, for example. Again, negative things may happen. How to use it then? So the first rule, remember that we don't actually say I had better. So we simply just say I'd better. To use it is very simple. After the better, you just simply use infinitive. When we say infinitive, it simply means that you do not need to change the form of the verb. You just use the most original form of the verb. So you don't need to add any D, you don't have to add any S or ES. You just use the original form, and that's it. And we do not need a tool to bring out the verb either. So for example, I can say you better come home on time, or else. Yet sometimes we can actually use or else to talk about what the negative things could be. Finally, when we come to about the common errors that I always see is what I just talked about, is that people get mixed up with should, have to, must, etc. Remember that if you use should, you're actually talking about a general situations. For example, if you think eating carrot is good for you, then and then you try to get people to listen to you, In this case, of course, you should say, oh, you should eat more carrots, for example. And in this example here, of course, you're trying to tell a conditions, rules, and of course, you should say you have to. You have to hold a full driving license to hire a car. So remember that it's not had better. So I hope you enjoy this, and I hope this is short and concise, and try to remember it, try to use it, and please leave me a comment if you have any other grammar things or any other things that you want me to talk about. As always, take care, guys.